a look at it, but Brad Harvey will be on the wing for the Wattles side today, and Danny Smith played in the fullback spot last week with Gary Ladbroke dropping back to reserve grade. The centres, of course, Darren Thrupp and Russell Grookie. The 5'8" will be Peter Cherry. The halfback Darren Lothian back in the Wattles side today. And the forward pack, John McEwen and Mark Packer, the props, Les Ridge and David Packer, the second rowers, and the lock forward, of course, Brett Green. And since Brett returned from the trip to New Zealand, he's received points every week in the BP Central Player of the Year award, so that's certainly a pretty a big effort as far as he's concerned, and the improvement that he's shown.
Yeah, I think to make the transition from the underages to come up and play A grade, it sometimes takes a season or two, but Brett's certainly made that transition, of course, very easily.
I omitted to mention one of the Wattles forwards, and that's the hooker Neil Goodman, of course, who is the coach of the side. He's playing in the hooking spot today. City's side of the field, and their captain Howard Lewis and Peter Cherry about to toss, and we'll see the start of the first half of this Preston's Cup match. Of course, the other match in the league today, Mitchell versus Wallumbilla, and Mitchell get their chance to record their first victory of the 1990 year. They've played 2 drawn games so far. Wallumbilla, of course, are really struggling at the moment with injury. So it's certainly pretty entertaining. Of course, the City's side have won their last 8 games straight, and Wattles have won 8 out of 10 over the season. Of course, their only loss in the season was the Patrons Trophy game against Cities a couple of weeks back, or the corresponding game in the last round. They've included in that game, of course, in their results, 1 draw, that draw against Taroom. So we're about to see the first half of the play set in motion. Tony Collins will kick off for Cities, and they'll defend the eastern end after a light shower of rain here before the game started, and Collins about to set play in motion.
Certainly don't think the rain will have any effect on the game. The ball may be a little bit slippery, but A-grade players should hold on to it.
I don't think there'll be any problems there, and Collins puts his foot to the ball. It's a deep kick-off. It's going back to Brett Green near his own goal line. It bounces over his head, but he can pull it in and run to 10 metres out from his own goal line, 20 metres out from his own goal line. Pulled over. The tackler there for Cities is Howard Lewis. He'll get up to play it. On the blind side goes McEwen, tries to push Lewis away. Taken down there in that tackle. The Cities player hurt in that tackle. It was Lewis, and actually he ran into Haddock's arm as he went underneath the Wattles player McEwen there. On the quarter way, Wattles get up to play it with Mark Packer, the player the ball. Peter Cherry gets the first kick of the game in. Dennis Beetson can take it 10 metres inside his own territory and start to run straight up the centre. He runs at the tackle that time of Goodman and also Lothian around the legs. Gets up to play it to Haddock. Haddock works on the blind side straight to the tackle of Green and Mark Packer, and they try to force him back. They're 8 metres from halfway. Mickleborough decides to work up the centre straight to Green and Goodman, and they hold him 12 away from halfway. Gets up to play it to Haddock. Haddock on the blind side looks for Blake out there. Blake runs straight at Ridge, and Ridge runs him. Strong tackle there from Ridge. Pulls Blake to the ground 12 metres from halfway, and there's going to be a penalty against Ridge there for griefing at the jersey of Laurie Blake in that tackle. So a penalty goes, the first of the game, to Cities about 12 metres away from halfway. Tony Collins going to come and kick for goal.
Certainly plenty of contact in the forwards first up. Peter, we're not disappointed there. Of course, Darren Faulkner controlling the game, probably the biggest game that he's been in charge of in his refereeing career.
Certainly would be, and so you're going to call the sand boy in to bring some sand in. There's no sand boy around the place. They've lost a sand boy. Ricky Jones running to look for a tin sitting on the ground about 2 minutes ago in front of us. There he is.
Sand boy's going to sleep.
He's come good. So we'll see the time blowing out actually while they wait for the sand boy to come in. And Collins, of course, had a good kicking day last week, 7 from 8.
Yes, I was just looking back through last week's game. I'm trying to find it here, a few of the stats on it. He overall took up 20 points, so certainly had a good day with the boot. If I remember correctly, it was one from the sideline he missed that we thought he'd give to somebody else after having a perfect record, 7 from 7. But this one, about 2.
Probably 12 or 14 metres inside Wattles territory, and probably 10 metres from touch over in the far side. But of course, if he kicks as well as he did last week, he might put the first 2 on the board. Les Ridge giving away the first penalty, but he stabbed that one. It will be short, and David Packer takes it on his own goal line. And no, it's Danny Smith, is it? No, David Packer it was, and gets back to the quarterway before he's pulled down in Mickleborough's tackle. McEwen at the dummy half gives it to Lothian, then to Mark Packer. He runs to Barry Duff's tackle, and also in the tackle too is Lewis. He'll get up and play it 20 metres out from the goal line to Goodman. His pass on to Lothian, then to Cherry Ridge, standing out wide, trying to bust through tackles out there, taken down as Haddock goes round his legs and holds him. Gets up to Platt. McEwen works the blind side. Gives a pass to David Packer, standing beside him. He eludes the first tackler, but not the second one. Seaby around the legs does the tackle, 12 from halfway. Lothian's pass to Cherry, out wide to Grilke, to Thrupp on the run around. He steps and gets away from Mickleborough, but can't get away from Haddock, and he's taken down 12 away from halfway in tackle number 5. Peter Cherry at the dummy half, steps from dummy half and bangs it for touch on this side, straight to Peter Hallett. Hallett takes it 15 metres inside his own territory, runs to the tackle of Smith, and also in there too is Grilke and Stevenson, and they put him over. He'll get up and play it at the dummy half position. It comes on to Waldron. Waldron straight up the centre to the tackle that time of Green and Smith go in and put him down. He'll get up and play it. Seaby works up the centre, straight to the tackle of Ridge and Goodman. They go in and put him down 5 metres inside Wattles' territory. Played to Haddock and then to Duff. Duff turns a pass on to Collins. Collins has Blake outside him, steps up the middle, but will step straight back into John McEwen, and McEwen puts him down with David Packer 8 away from halfway. On this time it comes to Haddock, who has a little step away from dummy half, jumped on by McEwen and Packer again. That's Mark Packer, 15 metres. He'll get up and play it. There's going to be a penalty against McEwen there. Thought he was a little bit unlucky to be penalised on that occasion, because I believe the City's player might have been pushing him from behind to hold him on top of Blake, but the penalty going there. City's way, and Collins has another chance for penalty goal.
About the same place, maybe a little bit straighter for Tony Collins, but once again Darren Haddock making a good 10-15 yards up the centre of the ruck. Wattles are going to have to keep their eye on that.
Yes, and the referee, of course, Darren Faulkner, pretty clear cut that he wants to play the balls clean, and both sides to let the player who's tackled up and play the ball fairly quickly to keep the game fairly open.
Certainly has been. I think when you're going to have the forward clash that we're going to see today, I think he's got to be pretty strict, and he's keeping them their 5, which is good.
Collins about to attempt to put more points on the board, or put points on the board. That's a better looking kick. He's raised the flag on this occasion, and the first points on the board at Wattles Oval. It's Cities 2 and Wattles 0.
And spices, all the way it's cooked, nothing tastes better than a tender piece of Kentucky Fried Chicken. And now you can relax and dine in our comfortable sit-down restaurant, or spend seconds in the drive-thru on your way home. Whatever you do, you don't have to wait long for the great taste of Kentucky Fried Chicken. I can't wait.
Fourth at 3:17, now back to Wattles Oval.
Back here at Wattles Oval, John Mickleborough in possession, 15 metres out from his own goal from halfway. Mitten a strong tackle from Brett Green. City's used their backs. It comes out wide to Waldron, but he's taken down in that tackle over there of Grilke, and also in the tackle to Lothian. Played to Bishop from dummy half. Tries to step his way up the middle, runs the tackle of Grilke and Goodman, and Thrupp in there also hold him about 12 metres away from halfway. Played to Haddock. Haddock's pass on to Collins. Collins going to get a kick to touch over on the far side. Harvey running back, as is Smith. That's not a bad kick from Collins, but I think it might roll too far. It does. It'll go over the touch in goal area and come back to the quarter line for a tap to Wattles. So Collins got the ball in behind the defence, but was unable to convert that into a territorial advantage because the ball rolled too far.
Yes, just a touch too straight. He certainly got a good bounce, but just a little bit too far. Comes back for the tap.
Harvey takes the tap and works straight up the centre towards Blake. Blake and Newbold go in and grab him and put him down. He gets up to play at 10 away from the quarter way to Goodman, cutting out Green to Cherry, then to Ridge. Ridge standing wide, trying to run. Looks up, turn a pass away to McEwen. Play on, says the referee, as it's knocked down by Cities and picked up by Bishop. He'll get up to play it. Seaby away from the dummy half, met in that tackle of Green and Packer and taken to the ground. He will get up to play it to Haddock on the blind. So no, he decides to work up the centre and spots a bit of a gap because John McEwen had his back turned to him, but he was able to close the gap with Mark Packer. But they're only 15 metres out from the line. Played on this time. Blake cuts out Mickleborough with a pass to Duff and then to Collins. Hallett hit the line, but Goodman cuts from the clouds and cuts him down 15 metres out from the line. City's playing attacking stuff at the moment. Collins having a little run on his own. Looks out wide. McEwen knocks the pass down straight in the hand of Haddock and back to first tackle. So as it's Haddock will get up and play it 12 metres out from the line. That's a terrible play. The ball. Referee going to play a knock on and a scrum to pack down. missing the advantage there because Haddock had dropped possession in the play the ball. Ridge picked it up, but the referee says he'll play the scrum for the knock-on.
Certainly City's had plenty of room on the right too, with 5 tackles in hand.
Haddock a bit slow to get to his feet on that occasion, and it was a bad play the ball, but Lothian can take it out for Wattles and dummy, but runs straight into Newbold. He's taken down 12 out from the goal line. Played on this time towards David Packer, running strongly, beating Seaby, but not Newbold and Bishop. They put him down just outside the quarterway. On the open side, they work through McEwen, then to Cherry. Cherry's pass to Ridge. Ridge standing wide. Mickleborough grabs him, and Hallett may swing into the ground about 12 metres away from halfway. Played on to Cherry and given to Smith. Smith works straight up the centre to the tackle of Duff and Lewis. They go in and pull him over. Hallett's also in there. No, it's not Hallett, it's another of the City's players, Haddock. And he had a cocked a boot in the face there from one of his own players, I believe, in that tackle. Lothians pass away to Cherry. Then to throw to Grilkey. Grilkey loses possession, slips to the ground again. Picked up by Wattles player Cherry after it was dropped by City's. Bishop had a chance to pick it up. He couldn't do so, dropped it down. I think we'll see a scrum to pack down, probably a City scrum feed for that original knock-on by Wattles.
Yes, I think so. Both sides knocking the ball on. City's with a chance there to get the advantage. They get the scrum anyway.
Duff takes it out and gives it to Collins, then to Bishop, who's standing flat. He tries to step back in the middle, has Collins with him. Collins has a little run on his own and gets through there, looks for the shot on the outside, finds Waldron. Waldron sprinting. He tries to get away from Smith and does, and Eric Waldron's in the corner. The first try of the game going City's way. Waldron getting outside the defence there. Poor tackle from Russell Grilkey, and that makes the score at Wattles Oval. City 6 and Wattles 0.
Because whether it's the Colonel's secret blend of 11 herbs and spices or the way it's cooked, nothing tastes better than a tender piece of Kentucky Fried Chicken. And now you can relax and dine in our comfortable sit-down restaurant or spend seconds in the drive-thru on your way home. Whatever you do, you don't have to wait long for the great taste of Kentucky Fried Chicken. I can't wait.
Roma Gas Supply stock both instantaneous and storage hot water systems. They also have a free after-hours delivery of large gas bottles and can supply acetylene or any other industrial welding gas. For gas stoves, barbecues and heaters, plus all the accessories, see Cam at Roma Gas Supplies, 28 Hawthorne Street, opposite the Maranoa Club, or call them on 221 220.
What's the name of your latest flame? Oh, gas.
Fourth at it's 3:22. Now let's go back to Wattles Oval.
Back here at Wattles Oval, the conversion by Tony Collins from on the touchline, not successful. A bit of indecision in the Wattles backs there in defence. Grilkey held off the defence, and he certainly didn't... and of course that created the overlap for Waldron. He got on the outside of Grilkey and Thrupp and was able to sprint to the corner as Smith missed him coming across in defence.
Yep, Tony Collins held the ball up sufficiently long enough to give Waldron a little bit of a gap, but he ran round his man.
It's a spotted scrum feed. Lothian can take it out. The referee wants it to go back in again, does he? It's a City scrum feed, actually. Interesting decision there. Ball into it. Comes out Duff's way to Collins. Collins' pass on to Bishop. Bishop tries to run around Grilkey and does so. Grilkey misses him. Out to Waldron, and Waldron sprints away again. Chased by Stevenson and Smith. Smith grabs him this time and pulls him to the ground, but Grilkey, that's 2 missed tackles on him in man-on-man situations. Lewis's pass on to Duff. Duff gets it out to Collins. Collins to Mickleborough up the centre. There's going to be a penalty against City's there for being inside. Wattles there for being inside the 5 metres.
So I think there's still players coming back
from the Wattles side. Never got back from that scrum when the break was made, but the gap's out wide appearing, and that was pretty ordinary defence out in the centres again.
Yes, the defence out in the back certainly wanting as far as Wattles are concerned, but City's playing some attacking football. Wattles are going to have to regroup and think about how they can turn this match around. Tony Collins going to take another shot for goal. 6-0 it is.
The statistics of the game might read pretty interesting. I don't think there's been a scrum or a penalty gone.
Wattles have picked up 1 scrum. The scrums are 2-1 to Cities, and the penalties 3-0 to Cities at the moment.
Such has been the territorial advantage of the game that all have been in kicking positions.
Yes, Wattles have had a little bit of ball, but they seem to cough it up pretty early.
Yes, they haven't been guarding it with their lives. Well, Collins has missed what should have been 2, I reckon. That was just outside the cornerway, and Tony Collins should have put the 2 on the board. That's 1 from 4. Had he have kicked those other 3, of course, 1 difficult from the touchline, but Gee, it certainly might have made it a different ball game. Instead of 6-0, it might have been 12. Mickleborough going back to field this ball, back 15 metres inside his own territory. He picks it up and runs straight in the tackle of Packer and McEwen. They go in and force him to the ground 12 metres away from halfway. He'll get up to play it to Lewis. Lewis is away from the dummy half, but straight to McEwen again. Slips it back to Haddock. They're keeping it alive, well, Cities, and Haddock beats one defender. Still goes. It's a good, strong run from Haddock. He's got Lewis. Mickleborough back on the inside. The ball knocked down, and Brett Green has to chase it back to his own goal line and fall on it. Knocked it back. He'll get up to play it. The dummy half position. It comes away to Goodman, who runs 20 metres out from his own goal line. Seavey meets him in strong defence and forces him back with the tackle as Duff. He'll get up to play it. There's going to be a penalty there against Seavey for leaning down all over Neil Goodman on that occasion. I guess a bit hard for Seavey to get up so too quickly off them. Wattles take a quick kick for touch and take play back up 12 metres away from halfway.
Come on, hit there, hit.
Comes on this time to David Packer, and he runs strongly straight to the tackle of Seavey. That's a great tackle. Picks him up and drives him strongly. To play it on this time to Lothian, then to Ridge. Ridge runs straight to the tackle of Blake and Seavey, and they put him down still 10 metres away from halfway. Played on this time towards Lothian. Lothian's pass to Green, running straight up the centre, and he's right on halfway before he's pulled to the ground. Played away this time towards McEwen, then to Lothian. Lothian having a little step and a run, gives it out to Grilke. Out wide to Thrupp with a bit of room to run. Hallett comes in from the wing, slips it back on the inside there towards Lothian. Lothian picks it up, gives it to Cherry. Cherry on the halfway line, taken down as Lewis comes in and puts him to the ground. Strong defence. City's tigerish in defence at the moment, but Peter Cherry works wide. Straight in the tackle of Collins, pushes him away. The ball coughed loose, but there's going to be a penalty there against Cherry for going at Collins with an elbow on that occasion in the run.
Certainly the City's defence inspiring stuff. Wattles throwing everything into it, but City's meeting them very hard in defence.
There's Peter Cherry obviously leaning up with an elbow there, and Tony Collins talking to referee Darren Faulkner and saying it got me right in the throat. And he'll kick for touch over in the far side, 8 metres away from halfway is where that second tap is going to be taken by Cities and give them a chance to go on the attack again as it goes on this time to Haddock. Haddock straight to the tackle of Ridge. Ridge puts him to the ground. Could well have been penalised for kicking out there in that tackle, I thought, Darren Haddock, as Seavey runs strongly. Straight to the tackle at that time of Smith and Green. They take him down on the quarterway. On the blind side they go through Duff out to Waldron. Last coming out there to Bishop, looked perilously close to forward. Jones down the touchline on the far side. Slips away from Goodman. Smith grabs him, misses him. Still going Jones. That's a good strong run. Loses possession. Picked up the Wattles by Smith getting back there. And McEwen came across in cover very close to the corner flag on the far side. Smith taken to the ground. Injured over there in the far side. Referee blowing time out.
Seem to be showing a fair bit of concern with Danny Smith over there, but what a run from Ricky Jones.
Yes, he certainly showed a bit of strength in that run there. Plenty of concern being shown for Danny Smith over in the far side. I didn't see anything untoward in the tackle. He picked the ball up and tried to turn and run, gained about 3 or 4 metres. Looks like he might have hurt a shoulder in that, grabbing at his collarbone over there in the far side. It's a shame after he's had such a strong season for any injury to affect his career this year. He's back on his feet, not too much problem there. Brad Harvey from dummy half gets 12 metres out from his own goal line before he's pulled over. Played to Goodman and given to McEwen. Wattles have been on the back pedal a bit, but McEwen gets up to the quarter line there as he stepped a couple of defenders in the forwards there, eventually taken down by Barry Duff. Given away to Lothian, then to Ridge. Ridge running strongly, tries to get away from Blake and Lewis and is put to the ground. He'll get up to Platt just outside the quarterway. Blake getting a caution on the run there as Lothian goes back across the paddock to Cherry. Steps back up the middle, gets a pass back to McEwen. McEwen turns it away towards Ridge, who is standing there, and Ridge is taken down and tackle number 5 just outside the quarterway. Played on to Cherry. Cherry going to put a little chip and a chase on. Decides to work on his own. Good tackle there from Seavey. Gets it back to Green. It goes behind Green. Picked up over on the far side by Harvey. He's got a chance to get a kick in. Wasn't a bad effort too, because it's rolling back towards the City's quarterway. Hallett lets it bounce. Bouncing on his own quarterway. Gives it to Beetson to have a run. Beetson tries to work up the centre straight at the tackle of Mark Packer. You don't do that. Packer and Thrupp go in and drive him to the ground on the 10-metre line down City's end of the paddock. 6-0 still the City's lead. That comes to Waldron. Waldron up the centre. Oh, strong stuff from Green and Packer there. 8 metres from halfway. Defence of both sides good at the moment. Away it goes towards Duff. Duff working straight up the centre, straight to the middle of the forwards. Caught by David Packer and Les Ridge. Played on to Waldron. I guess soon that given out to Seaby out wide. There he buffs Thrupp away. Almost lost the ball there. Then has it pinned to him in the tackle of David Packer. 5 metres from halfway in Wattles territory. Given to Lewis. Lewis's pass on to Collins. Collins putting a deep kick downfield. Running back to grab it is Stevenson. Back near his own goal line. He's going to let it bounce. It'll take off and go over the touch-in goal line and come back to the corner way for a tap to the Wattles side.
Certainly Cities may have lost a little bit of that momentum they were showing about 4 or 5 rucks ago, but still looking very strong. Wattles starting to make a little bit of ground.
Both sides' defence at the moment, the key to the game. Both sides have tackled each other pretty strongly. Comes on this time to Packer, as a matter of fact. He's dropped it on the first tackle. I think Wattles are going to pick it up and the knock-on will be played. So David Packer making a mistake there and a scrum to pack down 10 metres outside the cornerway.
But gee, that was a big hit from Michael Seaby. I think he's been a little bit quiet the last couple of weeks, but certainly out for a big one today.
Anyway, waiting for the scrum to pack down. Ball about to go into it. It'll come back City's way from Duff. Oh, he almost dropped it, but he picked it up again. Collins on the blind side to Beatson. Beatson to Waldron. They had a bit of an overlap out there. Waldron tries to step Thrupp. He steps back on the inside and still goes. He's been dangerous the last couple of weeks as Duff tries to run straight to the tackle. That time of Grilke. Grilke doesn't miss him on that occasion. Picks him up and drives him back. 15 metres from halfway as it goes on this time to Mickleborough running strongly. Taken down the tackle of Packer about 2 metres outside the corner way. That was David Packer. Give it on to Blake. Blake trying to step up the centre, straight to the tackle of Goodman. He's taken down, held down by Goodman just inside the quarterway. Given on to Duff and then towards Collins. Collins out to Bishop. Cuts out Bishop with a pass to Waldron. Waldron's legs grabbed this time in defence by McEwen out there. Also in the tackle to his opposite number Thrupp. It's been a good duel between these two centres so far. Bishop's pass on to Collins, back into Beatson. All Cities at 6s and 7s there. They'll eventually come up in possession, but I think there's going to be a penalty to Wattles. Dennis Beatson in front of the player who dropped the ball as it was passed to Howard Lewis. It was who was in front of the player who dropped the ball. I think it might have been Beatson trying to get up into the line. Wattles take a quick tap. A bit of a overlap out here. Give it on to Grilke. Grilke's pass to Stevenson down the touchline. Stevenson's got a lot of pace. Beatson after him. I don't think he'll get to him. Dennis Beatson. Beatson coming across. Won't get to Stevenson, and Stevenson's in the corner. Pretty hard for us to see there, but very quick thinking from Peter Cherry back on his own corner line. Set up that try. Cities weren't over this side of the paddock, and Stevenson had 50 metres to run, but not much defence in front of him. Got to the corner and was able to score the try. That makes the score 6-4.
Store with super specials like Heinz tins of soup for 40 grams 97 cents, Meadow Lee margarine 500 grams $1.30, and Cadbury chocolates assorted varieties 250 grams just $1.81.
We're for the bargains and the people. Foursquare, we're for you.
Fourth at our 28-4. Now let's go back to Wattles Oval.
And back here at Wattles Oval, Cherry's conversion of that try not successful from the touchline, so that makes the scoreline remain at 6-4. But that try against the run of play, Andrew, and of course giving an indication of what Wattles can do when they are just given that little bit of room to move.
Yep, certainly City scored napping there. A quick tap from Peter Cherry. They swung it wide. Stevenson put in open spaces, and he just had too much speed, too much strength.
Even Beatson was expecting the kick on the other side of the paddock, wasn't he?
Yeah, that's right. He had to make it across field.
Touchline, and he had to run the full length across field. Here's David Packer almost stepping up the middle, beating the first tackle, but Peter Newbold grabs him and puts him over. Play to Lothian, given to McEwen. McEwen looks back on the inside, taken down that tackle of Lewis and Duff, 8 metres away from halfway. At the dummy half, there's Goodman to give it to Lothian. Lothian turns it to Green. Green meeting the defence of Collins, running strongly, but Collins and Waldron go in and put him down. So not too much in the game so far. Territorial has been Cities, but 6-4 the scoreline. Ridge up the centre, met by Seavey, another good tackle. He'll get up and play at 8 metres from halfway. Played on this time towards Cherry. Cherry's pass towards McEwen. Out wide, a bit of an overlap again, but it's lost over on the far side, put on the toe by Danny Smith. I think Cities have picked it up through the agency of Ricky Jones, and he runs, taken down the tackle there of David Packer, 10 metres away from halfway. I was looking for a scrum to pack down, but the referee playing a good advantage. Comes on this time to Mickleborough. He reaches halfway before he's pulled to the ground in the tackle of Russell Grilke and Mark Packer. I don't think it can keep going at this pace, Andrew. Neither of these sides are fit enough to do that.
No, certainly the forwards are at each other all day so far.
And he won't come side this time. I know it's the middle of the season and they should be fit, but the game's going too fast for the players' ability, I would believe. Waldron almost on the outside again, gets a pass away to Bishop. Bishop down the touchline, slung to the ground over on the far side by Harvey, and pulled to the ground. Wattles' defence in the centre's just been caught napping a bit at the moment. Comes on to Collins. Collins has passed to Blake. Blake having a step in the middle, gives it to Mickleborough standing out wide in the back, slips it back to Blake, who can have a step and a run, and spots a gap. Laurie Blake, he's dangerous from break and play. He'll score under the post because nobody can do that to him, and Laurie Blake has aimed under the post. Brilliant stuff from Blake. That makes the score at City's Oval. City's 10 and Wattles 4.
Spend seconds in the drive-thru on your way home. Whatever you do, you don't have to wait long for the great taste of Kentucky Fried Chicken. I can't wait.
Fourth hour, 24-4. Now let's go back to Wattles Oval.
Eric Waldron's added the extras. That makes the score 12-4 here at Wattles Oval in favour of Cities. Laurie Blake unstoppable from that one-on-one situation. You can hardly blame Danny Smith there.
No, well, certainly, Peter, if Blake breaks it through the whole of the Wattles team, you can hardly put the blame on the fullback, and a player of the calibre of Laurie Blake, he certainly is very hard to stop one-on-one.
Good effort from Mickleborough to keep the ball alive, to give Blake that little bit of a gap in broken play. Beats and fields the kick-off on his own goal line, runs back to the quarter line and meets a strong tackle that time from Dennis Beats, and he'll get up and play at 20 out from the City's line. On the blind side it comes to Mickleborough. Mickleborough across the paddock to Goodman, and Goodman goes in with Stevenson to knock him down. He'll get up and play it just outside his own quarterway. Lewis has a little slip up the blind side, runs to Cherry's tackle. Cherry grabs him and puts him down 15 metres from halfway. Played on to Haddock. Haddock's pass away this time to Duff. Duff gives it to Collins. Collins across the top to Bishop, who pulls it in well and starts to run. But of course, looking for Hallett on the inside. Bishop gives it to Hallett, and Hallett will race away and score. Cities are blitzing him. That's a fine try from Hallett. That makes the score now. Cities 16 and Wattles 4.
It was probably the best 2 years of my life.
I'd go for it. Yeah. Australian Volunteers Abroad is about sharing our skills with the people of a developing country and receiving a real insight into another way of life. If you have a recognized trade or professional skill and at least 2 years' work experience, contact Australian Volunteers Abroad in your capital city.
Join the volunteers abroad.
Fourth hour, it's 21-4. Now let's go back to Wattles Oval.
Back here, the conversion by Eric Waldron gives Cities a big lead, 18 points to 4. I guess you remember back the last game, Cities, Wattles at one stage led 16-2, so anything can happen. Of course, that game was won by Cities, but of course, Wattles have got to do a bit better. Their defence, so they're caught napping out wide.
Yeah, certainly out wide it is, Peter, but Cities, they're playing some great football at the moment.
They have the ball on their own quarterway as it comes on a Newbold up the centre. He runs to the tackle of Stevenson. They're controlling possession well, Cities. That's the big thing. So Seavey works on the blind side, straight to the tackle of David, and Mark Packer around the legs was Brett Stevenson. He'll get up and play at 12 away from his own line. There's Duff knocking it behind him, picked up by Blake, who tries to step up the middle, straight to the tackle of Ridge and Goodman. They force him down 15 metres away from halfway. He'll get up and play it, plays it back towards Mickleborough, then to Collins, who kicks downfield. Harvey back in the fullback spot at the moment, and Smith playing in the out on the wing, but Harvey's going to go back to his own goal line to pick it up. He fields it well. He's got plenty of blue jumpers in front of him. Runs straight to the tackle of Waldron, and Waldron puts him down in a good tackle. He'll get up and play it away to Smith. Wattles need a try before half-time if they're to get it back in the game. Danny Smith caught in the tackle of Smith about 10 metres outside the quarter way. Played away to Ridge and given on to Green. Green working wide. Once hard and straight at the tackle of Seaby. For two brick walls colliding there, and taken down in that tackle. Lothian up the centre, having a little step and run. Lothian, he'll get up and play it at the dummy half position. It comes Ridge, McEwen, then a pass away towards Cherry. Cherry having a little chip and a chase. Thrupp after it. Where's it going to go? Waldron pulls it in, but Thrupp can get it back now. He's taken it to the ground, but it's back to first tackle. Waldron lost it and Thrupp grabbed it. On it comes to Cherry, then McEwen. McEwen straight up the centre, back to Cherry, having a run in the middle. Grabbed by Waldron, slips it back to Lothian. Lothian jumped on from behind by Haddock and pulled to the ground just outside the the quarterway. Played away to Cherry. On the blind side goes Brett Green. Wattles up in, City's up inside the 5 metres, and there's going to be a penalty going Wattles' way, and that will, I believe, mean that Wattles will come up and attempt to take 2. No, they don't. Brett Green has a quick tap and goes to within 10 metres of the line. I thought Wattles might lead the 2 there. Green plays it away towards Lothian. His pass, short pass to Mark Packer. Runs at the tackle of Lewis and Barry Duff. He's not far out from the line. 3 or 4 metres, in fact, pulled down in that tackle. Gets up to play it away to Goodman. Goodman's pass to Harvey, stepping towards the corner, but he's taken down. He'll get up and play it. Goodman goes to dummy half. Turns the pass this time to Lothian. Lothian's pass on to Cherry. Cherry gets it back to McEwen, who does well to pull it in. Gets away from Newbold. Across the top it goes towards Grilke, who goes without it. Picked up, knocked on. No, referee says play on. Back on the inside to Thrupp. Thrupp gets up and goes again. Passes back on the inside to Eric Waldron to save the day for Cities. Well, Wattles had their chances there, but City's defence got up on them pretty quickly.
I think, Peter, Wattles starting to panic already.
They're inside the 5 metres there. Yeah, so playing catch-up stuff, and really there's no need to. There's plenty of time left in the game.
Yep, there certainly is. They're throwing the ball around really without thinking, and there's no need to do that.
I don't know. I would have taken the 2 and got it back to 18-6. Yep. 2 converted tries. They're still at 18-4 now. Of course, play back on halfway, so City's got a chance to go back on the attack again. Haddock to take the tap. Works up the centre to Lewis. Lewis running straight to the tackle of Ridge, Green, and also in there too is Mark Packer, and they put him down. 5 metres away from halfway. He'll get up to play it to Haddock. Haddock's pass to Mickleborough. Met in the tackle at that time of Green again. And Mark Packer also in there too. Duff back on the A's to go on his own now. Grabbed by... the pass coming out to Blake. Blake steps McEwen and beats him. Looks on the outside and finds Beatson screaming on it, but Beatson taken down as Smith came in from the wing to stop the move on the far side. Blake's pass to Duff, who drops it, knocks it on. Bit of a mistake there from Cities, but there's got to be a few mistakes creep into it because the game's been played at such a fast pace.
Yep, the way they're throwing the ball around, it's incredible. I see Danny Smith, he's on the wing. I do hope they haven't penalised him for that miss on Blake, surely not.
I don't think so, but anyway, it comes out this time to Cherry, then to Grilke, back to Cherry on the run around, gives it away. Well, that was a hot one to Thrupp, but it was well read by Eric Waldron. Gets up to play it to Cherry, then a pass on to Grilke. Grilke tries to step away from a couple of tackles, but has taken down the tackle of Lewis after he beat Haddock. Gives away to Lothian. Lothian back on the outside to Ridge. Ridge tries to step Blake. Still going, Les Ridge gets it back on the inside to Stevenson. He has support with him, but has defence in between him and Haddock was hurt in that tackle. No, he wasn't. I thought he would have been stay down there, but he got up and Lothian parts away towards Cherry. Out to Grilke, who goes without it. Tried to be put on the toe there by Harvey, but he can't do so. And the ball was knocked on originally, and the referee says we'll pack a scrum for the knock-on. Wattles
getting their chance with possession, but coughing up once again. They certainly haven't got the ball control that Cities have at the moment.
Few players for mine seem to be at the moment... Duff puts it in some sort of a fashion. Well, it goes this time out towards Collins. Collins' pass out there to Bishop, then to Waldron, back to Bishop. Bishop runs straight to the tackle over in the far side there of Thrupp and is pulled down on halfway. Played on the blind side to Waldron having a run. Danny Smith up into the line. Taken down by Smith and Green going to be penalised there. That was a bit silly, coming in a little bit late and over the top on Eric Waldron.
Yeah, certainly the tackle was made. Green had no... he had a choice, but the idea was to stay away from it. There was no need to get in there and make that last tackle. That makes the penalty 6-1 in favour of Cities.
I think it might be 2 because Wattles gave away a chance for 2 points a few moments ago down Cities' end of the ground. There's Wattles player, Cities player CB taking play to the quarterway. Comes on this time to Duff, who gives it to Mickleborough. Mickleborough slipping to the ground there as he's met in the tackle of John McEwen on the quarterway. Calls for how about the head high, but Mickleborough was on the ground actually when the player came in to tackle him. Comes on to Collins, then out to Beatson into the line. Beatson caught by Lothian, gets it back into Waldron, then to Collins. They need runners now, Cities, but there's no runners there. And Green runs in and grabs Collins, slips a pass back to Waldron as well. Wattles not putting Cities on the ground at the moment.
No, there's Cities being able to stand in the tackle and unload.
Blake scored the last tries. It comes away to CB. CB runs straight at the tackle of Cherry and Ridge and goes to the ground 18 metres out from the Cities goal line. Played away this time towards Haddock. Haddock's pass on to Duff. Duff, a long pass that goes to nobody. Bouncing to Beatson, who has a step back in the middle. David Packer grabs him, gets away from Packer, gets away from Green. Beatson but steps straight into Les Ridge, but got it back to CB. Seavey runs straight at the tackle of Smith and Lothian. They hold him in tackle number 5, 15 metres out from the Wattles goal line. So Wattles defence just hanging on, but they are down by 18-4. Duff to Collins. Collins having a run. Oh, Mark Packer almost getting an intercept, but all he's done is given Cities back possession for 6, because I think there'll be a knock-on and a scrum feed to Cities.
Yeah, but certainly, Peter, I think he may have saved a 4-pointer. He was the last man, apart from Danny Smith, who was standing back as Wattles' defence, and they had 3 overlaps, so he possibly saved a 4-pointer there.
Duff will put the ball into the scrum. Getting close to half-time at 18-4. Duff takes it out. It goes a long way away from the scrum. Chased by Lothian and is pulled over 5 metres outside the quarterway. He'll get up to Platt towards Haddock and then a pass to Collins to Bishop. Bishop having a run. Taken down this time by Grilke and Green coming across in cover. And on the quarterway gets up to Platt towards Haddock. Haddock steps up the middle, runs straight to David Packer's tackle with Goodman. And he's held about 15 metres out from the goal line. So Wattles absorbing a fair bit of pressure at the moment. Collins back on the inside to Blake. They cover him this time, but there was 2 or 3 defenders there, and Laurie Blake's pulled down 15 metres out from the line. Played away towards Haddock, then a pass to Collins, gives it out to Bishop. Bishop's pass out this time, a lovely pass as Danny Smith went for a stupid intercept, and Eric Waldron's over to score in the corner, and that makes the score Cities 22 and Wattles 4. An intercept that wasn't on. A lovely pass from Lloydie Bishop to Waldron to give him his second try. But, the Wattles defence obviously been under a heap of pressure. I suppose you can't be too critical of them because they've been under about 18 tackles down their own goal line. They had to give, something had to give eventually, and it did. But Waldron got in the corner. But, I thought Smith's attempted intercept was the crucial factor in it.
Yeah, certainly a pass well held up by Lloyd Bishop. But Cities are coming in waves at the moment. Certainly proving too strong for Wattles. 22-4 with the kick to come.
Anyway, we're going to see Waldron attempt to, as the referee blew time out there, Waldron taking a fair bit of time over this kick. It's certainly a kick that should give them an extremely good half-time lead if he can kick it from right on the touchline on the far side. He's hit it pretty truly. Now it's out to the left-hand side, no goal. So that makes the Harvey score at the moment 22 points to 4 in favour of Cities. But if you look at the statistics, they've kicked only 3 from 6, admittedly 2 from the touchline, but it could be a bit more.
Yeah, in fact, Collins has missed 3 and Waldron 1, so they've missed four of those kicks, 4 from 7.
3 from 7, is it? Yeah, 3 from 6. But anyway, it's going to be Peter Cherry getting a bit of kicking practice before half-time. Goes down to Lewis, but City's on the crest of a wave at the moment and playing well. Lewis running straight up the centre. That was a try that they didn't want to give away before half-time, Wattles, but they were under heaps of pressure.
And certainly Howard Lewis losing that ball in the tackle.
Strong defence from Wattles there. Brett Green coming in with Brett Stevenson to do the tackling, and Stevenson at the moment one of the few Wattles players in the first half who could hold his head up.
Yep, for sure, Peter. They've been missing a few tackles, but once again, as we keep saying, Cities are coming in waves. The defence really hasn't been that bad.
Ball at the scrum. Lothian takes it out, gives it to Cherry. Cherry's pass cutting out players to Thrupp, who tries to step Waldron. He does so, but grabbed by Collins as he stepped back on the inside and pulled down on the quarterway. He'll get up to Platt to Cherry from the dummy half to Lothian. Lothian's pass away towards Packer, who runs strongly at the tackle of Newbold and is held just outside the Wattles quarterway. Played away towards Lothian, given on to McEwen. McEwen gives it to Green, running strongly into the inside the quarter line, slips a little pass to John McEwen that could well have been forward. McEwen up to Platt quickly, given to Lothian. Lothian's pass out wide to Stevenson again, tries to step Hallett, does, gets away from Lewis, and Stevenson is in the corner. That's a try to Wattles right on half-time, and strong stuff from Brett Stevenson for his second try. That makes the score now 22-8.
And now you can relax and dine in our comfortable sit-down restaurant or spend seconds in the drive-thru on your way home. Whatever you do, you don't have to wait long for the great taste of Kentucky Fried Chicken. I can't wait.
Roma Gas Supply stock both instantaneous and storage hot water systems. They also have a free after-hours delivery of large gas bottles and can supply acetylene or any other industrial welding gas. For gas stoves, barbecues and heaters, plus all the accessories, see Cam at Roma Gas Supplies, 28 Hawthorne Street, opposite the Maranoa Club, or call them on 221 220.
What's the name of your latest flame? Oh, gas.
Fourth it's 8-4. Let's go back to Wattles Oval.
Back here at Wattles Oval, the kick from Peter Cherry unsuccessful. He hit it pretty truly, but just going out to the right.
Yes, it wasn't too far away from the touchline. It was just over the right-hand upright and probably about 2 foot to the outside of it as it goes away this time towards Lothian, given to Cherry. Cherry back on the inside, links with a pass to Goodman. Goodman tries to step up the middle. He's taken down about 8 metres away from halfway. 22-8 the scoreline. Going to be a penalty against Howard Lewis there for leaning over Goodman there. How are we going for penalties in the game now? 6-4,
the penalties at the moment are 6-3, Peter, to Cities, but that last try obviously will give Wattles some heart. 22-8. The game's certainly still in their grasp.
Got a Cherry given to Lothian. Lothian got a call out to talk to Barry Duff, and he's given him 5 minutes in the sin bin for dissension.
Well, the referee shouldn't have to put up with that, whatever was said, but...
Comes away this time to Lothian, given away to Ridge. Ridge working hard up the centre. He's taken play 10 metres outside the court line before he's pulled over. Given away to Lothian. Lothian having a bit of a run. Gives it out to Stevenson. This time he goes without it. The ball rolling towards the touchline and over the touchline. We'll play the knock on from Stevenson about just outside the quarter line. The half-time hooter sounding. That's half-time with the half-time score at 22-8. Andrew Smith, the statistics of the first half of the game.
Yep, a very exciting first half. 22 points to 8. The scrums going City's way by 5-2. All scrums at the moment going with the feed. 6-3 the penalties in favour of Cities once again. Both sides have kicked 3 or 4 times in general play, and Cities 22 points in the first half. 2 tries to Eric Waldron, 1 to Laurie Blake and Peter Hallett. Tony Collins has kicked 1 from 4. Eric Waldron 2 from 3, and Wattles points 2 tries to Brett Stevenson. Peter Cherry's kicked none from 2.
Pretty entertaining stuff in the first half. The game started off at a furious pace. It kept up at a furious pace. I guess the last 10 minutes it might have slowed down a bit, but it's by far and away the fastest game we've seen this year. City's obviously attempting to rattle Wattles by keeping the ball and the game going quickly. They did that. They had the Wattles Tigers on the back move in the first part of the game and were able to come up in the middle stanza of the game with some good tries. A good try to Eric Waldron late in the half over in the corner, probably the pick of them, although one brilliant individual effort by Laurie Blake that left Wattles standing to score under the post midway through the half was certainly a great try, but plenty of stuff to remember the game by. Plenty of good football. The forward clash early was strong. There was a fair bit of it. No malice really, just some big hits from both sets of forwards. It's settled down now into a fairly strong tackling game, even though there's been 6 tries in the first half. I don't think either side has shirked in defence. It's just that Wattles have missed more tackles than Cities.
Yeah, but I think Cities, their attack's been much stronger. They've held on to possession and had obviously more ball control. But I think Cities are beating Wattles at their own game at the moment, Peter, and that's in the backs.
That's right. At Wattles, the tackles that I've spoken about that were missed in the early stages of the half were missed out in the backs, and the overlap coming out wide, and of course that is pretty unusual for Wattles, although we haven't seen their back line have to defend all that much over the year. They've looked brilliant as they've been throwing the ball around, but they haven't had to defend all that much. But today they've had to defend. I suppose at 4 tries to 2 it's a bit different, but the territorial advantage is shown in the scoreline, and the fact that Wattles have had only 2 kicks at goal from the try that they've scored, but Cities have had 7.
Yep.
And that's a territorial advantage in the game so far. But I think we're in for an entertaining second half. I wouldn't count Wattles out yet. As we said, the last game, the score midway through it was 16-2 in favour of Wattles, and Cities got up to win 24-22. I just wonder if Cities might have spent too many pennies in the first half. I think the first try after half-time might be a very vital one.
It certainly set the scene for a good second half, and as you said, Peter, Wattles certainly aren't out of it yet.
The earlier games today, the reserve grade of beauty, 10-8 going Cities' way. The under-19, of course, Wattles shell-shocking the City side there, 72-0. And the under-16, another very good game with Wattles winning that one, 16 points to 10 in a game that had a very good second half to it. But that's it, the scoreline at the moment at half-time. Cities 22, lead Wattles 8.
OK, sports fans, let's check it out.
From me, it's time to go back to our Kentucky Fried Chicken match of the day between Cities and Wattles out at Wattles Oval.
Back here at Wattles Oval, the score at 22-8, the half-time score. We'll see the kick-off for the second half by Peter Cherry. A long kick-off down to Peter Newbold, and he takes it back to the quarterway before he's met in the tackle of the Packer brothers, Mark and David. He'll get up to play it to Darren Haddock. Haddock at the dummy half gives it away to Seaby. Seaby runs straight to the tackle. Packer and McEwen. That's David Packer, Mark Packer and John McEwen, and then Brett Green it was. Here's Mickleborough running strongly, taken down, and the tackle is Brett Green just outside the quarterway. Gets up to play it away to Haddock. Haddock's pass to Blake in the middle. Blake, good tackle around the legs there by Les Ridge, stops his motion just outside the quarterway. Given back to Haddock. He gets it back to Collins, who's got time to get a kick in. Screwy old kick will go to the touchline on the full. No, it won't. One bounce and into touch. So about 5 metres inside the territory of Wattles, where the scrum will pack down. Of course, next Saturday, both of these sides would have a number of players in contention for the Roma and District representative side for the 4X Super League Grand Final against Dalby on next Saturday at Bassett Park.
Should be a good one too, Peter.
Ball at the scrum. Well, Wattles have Cities have no halfback there.
Yes, well, Barry Duffy's off for 5 minutes in the sin bin.
That'll be a Wattles scrum win there as it comes away to Cherry. Cherry pass out towards Thrupp. Oh, that pass was a bit of a hospital pass, pulled in by Grook, it was, sorry, given away to Harvey. Harvey decides to work out wide and spots a bit of a gap. Still going Harvey, almost up to halfway. Lewis comes across the top to complete the tackle. He plays it forward and goes on his own. He'll gain 10 metres too to Newbold's tackle, up 10 metres into Wattles to City's territory. Thrupp's pass to Lothian, given away to McEwen. McEwen's pass to Dave Packer. He's easy meat for the defence of Darren Haddock as he half slipped on his way through and went to the ground 12 metres inside Wattles territory, given away to Lothian. Lothian with a little step up the middle, almost through there. Johnny Mickleborough coming from behind, pulls him to the ground just outside the quarterway. Well, 5 tackles gone on Wattles. What will John McEwen do? He's going to swing it. Gets it out to nobody. Picked up out there by Peter Cherry. He's going to get a chance to get his kick in as he tries to step away from Michael Seaby. Spots a bit of a gap up the middle, then lobs it across the top as the pass is pulled in. Brett Stevenson pulls it in out wide, then kicks for the touchline over on the far side and finds it. No, it'll come back to the quarterway as it something similar to a kick from Tony Collins in the first half, went into touch in behind the touch-in goal line.
Certainly a chance for Cities to get catch Wattles with that bad pass, but laying off Peter Cherry a bit, he had room to move and something could have come of that.
I was surprised he didn't kick, really, because I didn't think there was any rate as Seaby runs up the centre straight to the tackle of Brett Green, 15 metres away from halfway. 22-8, Cities in their own territory. They lead. Johnny Mickleborough up the centre, standing back deep and running high to it the first 5 or 10 minutes of the half. Very important, as a matter of fact, I believe the first try of the half, real important. Darren Haddock breaks through, looks for Laurie Blake on the outside, but Blake can't control it. I think the pass might have been forward anyway. Referee Darren Faulkner ruling that the pass went forward to Blake, and the scrum to pack down just inside Wattles territory, but Haddock again proving dangerous from dummy half.
Yes, he certainly was. I don't think there are any doubts about the pass. Blake was certainly in front, but as you said, a handful.
The scrum. Lothian works the blind side. Still going. Lothian beats it across to cover him and put him down just outside the quarterway, and slow play down a bit too. Dennis beats him because a few Cities players a bit slow getting back. Played to Ridge, given out to Cherry standing wide. Gives it to Grilke with room to run. He dummies. Still going. Slips to the ground as he's grabbed by Bishop. He can stand. He still goes. Slips off Bishop. Gives it back to Cherry. Almost was tackled without the ball. And then he threw it back to Tony Collins, and Collins is pulled to the ground. Collins will get up and play it just outside his own quarterway. Slowing play down Collins there because they're in a bit of trouble there, Wattles. I think Cherry just thinking that there was a try on outside him if he could have got that pass through. Here's Haddock away again from dummy half, straight to the tackle of Cherry, picked up and driven solidly. Strong tackle right on the 10-metre line. Haddock to the dummy half, gives it to Seaby. Seaby across the field, still going, taken down in defence there. Mark and David Packer, the defending players. That run by Grilke. There's a kick across the paddock by Collins. Will go towards Danny Smith, who traps it soccer style, then drops it. All he can do is fall on it, and then he loses it. To get up and the knock on there, so a scrum to pack down.
Certainly good effort from Danny Smith to pick the ball up in the first place, soccer style, but then losing it. Yep. Going to put Wattles under some pressure.
A bit of pressure. Seaby looking for a bit of attention, got a bit of dirt in his eye there from a bit of a mud patch where he was running with the ball before. Running for the Wattles, packing a bit early there.
Dennis Beatson to feed the scrum.
Beatson playing in the halfback spot at the moment. Ball into the scrum, and Wattles have won it against the feed. Away it goes this time towards Cherry. Cherry decided to run across the paddock, gets on the outside, has the pass knocked down, but Thrupp picks it up brilliantly, then throws a pass. Stevenson puts it on the toe. Referee's going to say play on as Waldron picks it up over the far side. But on the first tackle, Wattles being too aggressive with the football there and trying to throw it around too much. Barry Duff coming back to the sideline to go back on the field as Mickleborough works on the blind. Well, that wasn't too costly for Cities. It could have been, because Wattles won a couple of scrums and made a few breaks on the base of the scrum. As away it goes this time to Seaby up the centre. He takes play to the tackle of Packer and Green. They take him down about 8 metres away from halfway. The dummy half position, Darren Haddock's pass away to Tony Collins, given to Waldron. Waldron looks back on the inside for Hallett, but he dummies as the defence had seen Hallett coming, and he's taken down. The tackler was Mark Packer, 5 metres away from halfway. He'll get up to play it to Collins. It comes with a kick. Collins has to run. It's a little kick high in the air, but that's going to float out in the full, that one, and it'll come back for a scrum, I believe. I'm not sure whether it was on the 5th tackle or was it? Yes, it was on the 5th tackle, so it's a hand over to the Wattles side.
Yep, good chases as far as Wattles concerned.
Goodman works the blind side with Grilke. Grilke tries to push away from Newbold, but Newbold collars him and pulls him over. He'll get up and play it away to Goodman and then to Lothian. Lothian's pass on to David Packer. Packer tries to push away from Blake, and Duff and does. Collins grabs him on the corner way and holds him with Bishop. Wattles on the attack at the moment, putting a bit of pressure on the City's defence. Lothian's pass away to Ridge. Ridge working hard, takes the tackle of Blake, slips it back to Thrupp with room to step. Thrupp towards the corner, gets away from one, and will get the ball down in the corner, Darren Thrupp, to score a try. That makes the score now 22-12, but another difficult conversion coming up for Peter Cherry.
Or spend seconds in the drive-thru on your way home. Whatever you do, you don't have to wait long for the great taste of Kentucky Fried Chicken. I can't wait.
Foursquare, with all the bargains and the people, we're for you.
Hicks Foursquare on the corner of Crystal and Wyndham Streets, Roma, is your one-stop convenience shopping store with super specials like Heinz tins of soup for 40 grams, 97 cents. Meadow Lee margarine, 500 grams, $1.30. And Cadbury chocolates, assorted varieties, 250 grams, just $1.81.
We're for the bargains and the people. Foursquare, we're for you.
Fourth at hour, it's 4:09. Let's go back to Wattles Oval.
Peter Cherry, great kick from the sideline at 22-14. It's a ball game that we've got on our hands now as David Packer reaches up with his hands and takes that Australian rules side. I just wonder, Andrew, if that 2 points that City's Wattles failed to take just before half-time down near the Wattles try line is going to prove costly in the game. McEwen's pass out to Cherry, quick hands, away goes Grilke, looks for Thrupp, gives it out to Thrupp. Thrupp's got room to sprint. Beatson comes across and just misses him, but Waldron will be able to come from behind and knock him down. He'll get up and play it as Stevenson rolls Waldron away. Give it on to McEwen. McEwen's pass to Grilke. Grilke gets it out to Lothian. Lothian gives it to Ridge. Ridge can stand, gets away from Lewis. Still goes Les Ridge. Looks back on the inside. Laurie Blake and Ridge come to pull him to the ground. It's eventually got to go to the ground as this the weight of numbers. Played on this time towards Goodman, then to Lothian. Lothian's pass to McEwen, spotting a bit of room. Peter Cherry soccering it on to Stevenson out wide. Stevenson stepping back on the inside, beating 1 or 2 Stevenson. Had Wattles spent too many pennies. The ball coming out from, no, didn't get out from Stevenson. If City spent too many pennies in the first half. Wade goes away to Lothian. Lothian's pass to David Packer, steaming onto it. Packer back on the outside to Grilke. Grilke dummying, and Grilke will step through and score. As the way the first half went, the second half is going exactly the opposite. Grilke's over. That makes the scoreline 22-18.
Opposite the Maranoa Club, or call them on 221 220.
What's the name of your latest flame? All gas.
Fourth at hour, it's 4:12. Let's go back to Wattles Oval.
Well, Peter Cherry attempting to put the 2 on the board has put that one wide, so the score remains at 22-18. That's 4 tries apiece in the game, but at one stage, City's led by 22-4.
Yes, certainly at that stage you'd think it'd take a big effort for Wattles to come back, but as we said at the end of the first half, the lead that Cities did have in going into half-time certainly wasn't great enough to say that Wattles couldn't win the match.
The thing that I thought about it towards the latter stage of the first half, and I just mentioned in the call, I thought maybe that Wattles Cities had spent too many pennies in the first half. I said in the call that I don't think both sides are fit enough to keep the pace up, and I believe that, and I believe it's taking its toll now. Brett Green plays the ball. Out it comes to Lothian and then given away to McEwen. McEwen's pass to David Packer. Wattles are just swinging it with gay abandon. There seem to be runners everywhere. I guess they're going to slow down eventually too. Lothian's pass to Ridge. Ridge busting through to Stevenson. Stevenson on the outside. Racing back inside the Thrupp. That's 3 tries in 3 minutes. Darren Thrupp steaming away. Will put it down 10 metres in from the touchline. It's 22 all.
Shopping store with super specials like Heinz tins of soup for 40 grams 97 cents, Meadowlee margarine 500 grams $1.30, and Cadbury chocolates assorted varieties 250 grams just $1.81.
We're for the bargains and the people. Foursquare, we're for you.
Force at our 14 past 4. Let's go back to Wattles Oval.
Well, Andrew Cherry's conversion successful, but that's been inspired stuff since half-time from Wattles.
Exactly what Cities were doing in the first half, Peter.
Yes, 10 minutes and we've seen 14 points, 3 tries, 16 points actually because with that conversion. But Cities, we just looked behind the goal line there and they were shell-shocked as Wattles were at the score at 22-4.
Yep, well there goes all the good work of the first half.
It's been an inspired comeback, been a great game. 24-22, that was the scoreline, would you believe, in the last game the two sides played. It was the other way round then, and of course, who would have said that at 22-4, Wattles would be the first to get to 24. Goes away this time to Mark Packer. He's 10 metres outside his quarterway before he's pulled to the ground. I wonder when the Wattles machine's going to stop because they haven't dropped the ball. Goes McEwen back on the inside to Ridge. He runs at Duff and Seavey. They're standing and delivering. John McEwen's got room to run. On the outside, slips a pass to Danny Smith that's broken down there. Smith taken down, the tackler was Jones. Well, it had to stop eventually, and Danny Smith's hands were the bit that let them down.
It certainly wasn't a good pass, but he should have picked it up.
He was under not a lot of pressure. 15 metres away from the halfway line is where the scrum will pack down. I wonder will the game slow down a bit because it's been going at such a terrific pace probably for the first 30 minutes of the first half and the first 10 of the second half. Tell you what, there'll be some sore rugby league players around Roma here tomorrow.
Yes, one thing we can thank rivalry for, Peter. They produce great games like this.
Ball into the scrum. Cities have taken it out. It comes to Collins, to Beetson up into the line. Beetson tries to step Collins, but Lothian and Green come from the base of the scrum and put him down 15 into Wattles territory. Played away to Collins. Collins has passed on to Blake. Blake in the middle. Can he step out? A try? He can. Laurie Blake stepping. Harvey grabs him. Pulled to the ground from behind, but he can get up and go again and put the ball down. What a brilliant individual try from Laurie Blake. He can snip out a try. He stepped up the middle of the Wattles defence there. That makes the score 26-24.
Doctors and pharmacists all over Australia are here to help you stop smoking.
Stop smoking today. We're here to help you.
Fourth at our 17 past 4. Let's go back to Wattles Oval.
Back here at Wattles Oval, Eric Waldron about to attempt to convert the try that Laurie Blake was able to score. And ironically enough, Andrew, it's virtually the first time that City's had the ball in Wattles territory in the half.
Yep, took some Blake magic.
Oh, Waldron's hit the post. It's gone out. Heaps of kicks hit the post today. I reckon in the under-19 game there was 5 kicks hit the post.
They're getting a rattling.
And that one hit the post and went out to the left-hand side. No goal, 26-24. The scoreline remains. A couple of kicks that Cities have missed. They might well rue later on tonight. There's the kick-off and Peter Cherry puts a long kick downfield. Newbold can feel it in his own in goal and run. Out at the field of play by 10-15, runs to David Packer, and David Packer holds him. He'll get up and play it towards Darren Haddock. Haddock's pass away to Lewis. Lewis running straight to the tackle of Green, and also in there too is David Packer. Darren Haddock at the dummy half. Slips it to Mickleborough, taken down. The tackler was Les Ridge and Dave Packer. Played away at the dummy half. It comes away towards Duff. Duff's pass to Collins and then out to Waldron. Waldron slips to the ground on his own quarterway and is taken down in Darren Lothian's tackle. Played to Collins and given to Bishop on the blind. Bishop running straight to the tackle of Grilke. Got through Grilke's tackle. Strong run from Bishop. But eventually has the ball pinned to him by Brett Green and Peter Cherry. Neil Goodman it was. Played away. This time it comes on towards Hallett. Hallett gets a kick downfield. Back it comes towards Harvey. Harvey takes it on his own quarterway and runs. Up the touchline on the far side, Harvey taken down, Hallett around the legs in the tackle, I believe. Seaby in at 2 on halfway. Grilke's pass on to Stevenson. I tell you what, Andrew, if we've got a grand final like this one, it'd be a beauty.
Exciting stuff.
It's been a great day for rugby league here. The game's been thrown around by both sides with gay abandon, and the tries have come. I don't think either side could be real disappointed with their defence. Lothian's pass to Smith. Smith pushes away from Jones, but he's taken down by Mickleborough. He'll get up and play at 15 away from halfway to Lothian. Lothian has a step up the middle. He'll play on, but Mickleborough can pick it up as he put a little short kick and chase on, but he couldn't reach it, and Mickleborough did first. Lewis away from the dummy half, straight at the defence of Goodman and Green, and they hold him 15 metres from halfway. Duff goes to dummy half, turns the pass on this time to Seaby, who juggles it, meets Ridge. Strong tackle, Les Ridge. They roll the big fella backwards there. Peter Cherry and Les Ridge, 15 metres from halfway. Played away towards Duff. Duff across the field, looking to link up, but he has to turn and go back on the inside and meets Goodman, and is taken to the ground. City's attack at the moment, not linked up, and they've got a few problems. 26-24, they lead Haddock at the dummy half. He can run away from dummy half and does, but Les Ridge almost cuts him in two with a good tackle around the hips. Played away to Duff. Duff's pass to Collins. Collins waddles up inside the 5 out wide. Brett Green, the offending player. City's got a penalty, I believe, which will certainly give them a chance to get back in motion.
Yeah, I think that's the first penalty in the second half.
And certainly we haven't had too many breaks, stoppages. There's only the one drop ball by Danny Smith that I can remember in the half of football so far.
I think they're going to be sore boys tomorrow.
Kicker for the touchline over in the far side. Takes play 15 metres into Wattles territory with the City's chance to go back on the attack. Haddock takes the tap. Seaby times his run and charge. Oh, bang! Seaby charging at Green and Packer, and they were equal to the occasion. Away it goes towards Duff and out to Collins. Then to Lewis. Lewis taken down by Ridge and Cherry. Slips the ball back to Collins and then to Blake, but the pass ruled forward. No, the referee said he'd called held. Well, Peter Cherry not too well after that tackle. He'd obviously called held on Howard Lewis before he slipped the ball back. Cherry back to his feet. Bit groggy in the head, I believe.
Yes, referee Darren Faulkner calling held. They continued to play
Odeon takes it out of the scrum, tries to step up the middle. Newbold and Duff go in and put him over. He'll get up to play at 15 away from halfway. Played on towards Goodman. Back the open side to McEwen to Cherry. Cherry decides to try and step his way through and does. Peter Cherry racing downfield. Collins grabs him, gets away from Collins. Back on the inside to Grilke. Grilke has chance to run, but Mickleborough has come from the clouds to pull him down and cover. He'll get up and play it when he's allowed. Seaby was all over him. He'll get up to play it towards Thrupp. Then a pass to Green, but a bad pass in the dummy half from Darren Thrupp. He was under no pressure whatsoever. Brett Green couldn't pick it up, and the scrum to back down.
Well, exciting stuff again from Wattles. City's, well, they were lacking in defence down the left-hand touch side. But finally, the tackle, I think it was Blake and Mickleborough who pulled in Peter Cherry.
Ball into the scrum. Duff takes it out. Green breaking quickly from the scrum with McEwen hold. Duff, he'll get up and play it. Played away, this time towards Mika to Newbold from dummy half. Newbold taken down. The tackler was Brett Green. He'll get up to play it just outside his quarter way to Barry Duff and then towards Seaby. Seaby sheds one. David Packer grabs him and pulls him to the ground by the jersey as Peter Cherry goes round his legs. It was a good break from Cherry before. It's up to play it on the blind side goes Haddock, straight to the tackle of David Packer, and he'll get up to play it 8 metres away from halfway. Played away this time towards Duff. Duff's pass to Collins. Collins out wide to Bishop. Bishop's pass to Beetson at the line. His pass to Hallett was a yard forward. Over on the far side there, if you saw that, we were on the 10-metre line when Beetson was standing and Hallett was in front of the 10-metre line.
Yep, there was no doubts about that. It's been a pretty well faultless display from Darren Faulkner too, and it's great to see a young fella having such a competent game.
All about to go into this scrum, 26-24 in the second half of the ball game. It's a Wattles scrum, win and feed and win. It comes to Cherry, to Harvey, who goes without a mistake on the first by Wattles. Too fancy there. They wanted to control it for 6 down in City's territory. Played away to Mickleborough, running hard at Thrupp and bumping it away, but Harvey grabs him and pulls him to the ground, 10 metres away from halfway. There's been some inspired games. Larry Blake up the centre, steps Harvey, dummies and goes to his own. Ridge grabs him by the legs with Packer, David Packer, and they hold him. Just outside the quarterway, City's with a chance to attack. Duff's pass to Collins. Collins' pass out wide. Waldron to Bishop. Bishop with room to run, but Lothian cuts him down from behind and a lovely covering tackle on the quarterway. Played away to Hallett. Hallett's pass to Beats and then to Collins. They're running it to Duff. Duff standing, gives it to Newbold. Newbold back to Duff on the run around, but he runs into Grilke and Grilke takes him ball and all. That's 5. Grilke's got possession. Referee indicating that he's going to pack a scrum now after Duff lost it. The crowd trying to influence him in his decision to give Cities a penalty, but I obviously believe that Barry Duff must have lost the ball in the tackle.
Well, once again, after that last scrum, we had Peter, of course, Wattles spilling the ball on the first tackle.
You just can't afford, in the way the game's going, to lose the ball at all. You've got to control it for 6.
No, these are the mistakes they were making in the first half.
Lothian picks it up. Good tackle from Duff around the base of the scrum, and Lothian will get up and play it about 20 metres out from his own goal line. He'll get up to play it to Harvey. Harvey runs away from the base. Oh, Mickleborough's stolen possession. That's twice Brad Harvey's lost it. Mickleborough didn't pinch it. Harvey lost it. Away it goes to Seaby. Stepping up the middle, jumped at by Goodman from behind and pulled down. City's on the attack, 15 metres out. 2 Wattles mistakes have caused problems. Laurie Blake tries to step in the middle. John McEwen grabs him, looks to unload. The ball might be loose. No, it's not. Blake can cling to it and play it. Gets up to play it away to Haddock. Haddock's pass on to Collins, out to Newbold. Newbold grabbed by Lothian and Packer and pulled to the ground, 15 metres out from the line. He'll get up and play it at the dummy half position. It comes away towards Seaby. Seaby crashing towards the line. That's 5 gone. The tackler was Mark Packer. He'll play it away to Collins. Collins has a little step from the dummy half. Across the paddock, tries to get through on his own, gives it to Duff, who pulls it in well. The ball coming loose, and Cherry picks it up for Wattles. Cherry plays it 10 metres out from his own goal line to Ridge and then to Harvey. Well, Harvey's nothing. If not keen, he certainly pulled to the ground. The tackler was Duff. He got it out to the quarterway in a strong run anyway. Gets up to play it away to David Packer in the middle. Packer can only be held there, and the tackler is Mickleborough. He'll get up to play it to Ladbroke on the field for Wattles. Ridge up the centre, taken down. All strong stuff there from Howard Lewis it was. Peter Cherry in the centre, puts a little chip and a chase on. Ladbroke after it, but Lewis can field it and pull to the ground, but there's going to be a penalty to Cherry. Cherry taken out of play. I think that penalty just a little bit severe on Cities.
Yes, I'm not sure. I didn't actually see who took Peter Cherry out.
I did see him taken out of play, but I didn't believe it was that severe. The kick for touches, plug and play, 10 metres into City's territory, and Wattles a chance to go on the attack. Gary Ladbroke wearing the 17 jersey on this wing for Danny Smith. Played away to Goodman and given on to David Packer. Hasn't it been a marvellous game as Packer almost reaches the quarter line?
It's been incredible from one end of the field to the other.
Away it goes to McEwen. To Mark Packer, straight at Laurie Blake, and Newbold as a Duff around the legs, going to put him down. A bit of mud spews up from the turf. There's a muddy spot in the middle of the quarterway. McEwen's pass to Lothian, given to Brett Green. Brett Green sheds Lewis. No, he didn't, though. Stick with Howard Lewis there because he slid down him and went round his legs. Les Ridge at the defence. Johnny Mickleborough grabs him. Ridge is going to be penalised for using an elbow there at Mickleborough.
He certainly did go in with the elbow.
He put his elbow up.
I'm not totally sure how severe it was, but the elbow was certainly there.
Yeah, good decision by referee Darren Faulkner on that occasion. No qualms about that one whatsoever. Cities with pressure relieved close to their own goal line. Wattles were on the spurt.
Yep, there's no need to use the elbows. The game, as we've seen it so far, Peter, has been terribly clean. No malice at all.
I don't believe there was any malice in the way Les Ridge used it. He was just using it as a shield.
Yep.
But he happened to be attacking the head of the opposite number. Where it goes to Seaby. Seaby straight at the defence there, reaches the 10-metre line from halfway. He'll get up and play it to Darren Haddock. Darren Haddock's pass. Oh, gee, did he knock that ball onto the base? No, he didn't. He always gets through there up to the quarterway. I just had a little feeling there was a knock on in there. I thought he put his hand on the ball before he picked it up. On halfway, away it goes to Duff. Duff's pass to Collins. Collins out to Waldron, met by Cherry. Strong defence there. They're 10 metres back in their own territory now. Cherry up quickly in defence, reading the movement, reading Waldron's step. Away it goes to Duff. Duff puts a little kick and a chase on. Grilke goes back and feels it. Steps away from Duff, but is caught by Newbold and is held 5 metres inside his own territory. Ladbroke away from dummy half. Taken down, the tackler was Lloydie Bishop. At the dummy half is Goodman's pass to Cherry, then to McEwen. McEwen out wide to Stevenson. Stevenson tries to step Waldron, then tries to bump through him, but he's taken down. The tackler of Lewis and Waldron hold him. On halfway towards McEwen. McEwen's pass to Ridge. Ridge straight up the centre this time. Slips it back a little pass to McEwen, who slips a little one towards Thrupp. Thrupp's in an opening, gives it towards Lothian. Lothian's pass to Ladbroke with room to run. Gives it to Grilkey. Not much support with Grilkey. He's jumped on by Jones and pulled to the ground in the quarterway. Mickleborough down injured. On halfway, away it goes back this time to Lothian. Across the paddock they go to Cherry. They're swinging it wide. Cherry's pass pulled in brilliantly by Darren Thrupp. He runs over Waldron. Still going Thrupp. Still going. 8 metres out. Taken to the ground. The tackler there was Tony Collins. He'll get up and play it towards Mark Packer. His pass on the blind side to Lothian. The City's field the little kick. The Wattles come up in possession. Did they drop it? No, they didn't. Waldron is going to... Haddock is going to get up and play it. At the dummy half, Waldron taken down in defence 8 metres out from his own goal line. The tackler was Lothian. Played away to Haddock. On the blind he goes. Gains 5 before his legs are cut out from underneath him in the tackle that time of Brett Green. Gets up to play it to Waldron. His pass to Mickleborough. Oh, strong tackle. Brett Green on Johnny Mickleborough. 18 out from City's goal line. They've got to clear it. It comes away towards Collins. His pass to Blake to Beetson at the line. Beetson's pass to Bishop. A long pass to Jones, who pulls it in well. Cherry across to pull into the ground with Ladbroke. They hold him 15 metres from halfway. They cleared it well. They ran it. It comes away this time away to Collins. He's got a chance to get a kick in for touch on this side. Harvey chasing back, but the ball will beat him over the touchline. It'll be a scrum feed to Wattles, 15 metres in their own territory.
Yes, Tony Collins picked that one well. Of course, Gary Ladbroke, who's on that wing, he was up in the tackle to bring down Ricky Jones, and he was pointing back, but Collins was too quick.
He's also played a full game in reserve grade.
Certainly makes it tough.
Getting back, I believe. Lothian's ball into the scrum. He will take it out. There's going to be a penalty against Barry Duff for getting around too quick.
Yeah, no doubts about that one.
Lothian takes a tap and gives it to Cherry. They scored a try off a move from this earlier. Tony Collins never back to 10 at any stage there. Slips it back to Cherry. Gets it on towards Grilkey. The pass ruled forward. And a penalty going City's way. Good decision, Darren Faulkner. That pass from Peter Cherry. Quick hands across the top, a la Gene Miles. But the pass, Grilkey was in an offside position.
Yeah, I don't feel there was any need for it. City's Wattles off the first scrum penalty. Should have swung it wide. Cities were very thin out.
Yes, they scored a try that way in the first couple of minutes in the first half of the game. There's Collins' kick for touch. He's found touch about 15 metres from halfway. 26-24, City still lead. What an exciting President's Cup game it's been. Haddock at the middle of the City's forward, not running hard enough. The Wattles forwards not running hard enough and taken down in Brett Green's tackle. Seavey away from dummy half. Legs cut from underneath him. Brett Green again. Getting through a power of tackling in the second half for Wattles. Haddock's pass to Newbolt. Straight to Ridge and Cherry. They pull him down on the 22-metre line. Down Wattles end of the paddock. City's with the lead. They led at one stage 22-4. They lead now by 26-24. Collins across the paddock back to Waldron. Waldron to Goodman. Slips a pass to Bishop. Pass knocked down by Ladbroke. Referee says play on. It was a knock on, but the referee didn't see it. It was kicked through by a City's player after Ladbroke knocked it down. I think he thought City's knocked it on as David Packer runs away from his own quarter to be taken down. The tackle is Michael Seavey. He'll get up and play it towards Goodman. His pass to Lothian. Lothian's pass to McEwen. McEwen gets it out to Cherry. Cherry to Stevenson. The overlap coming out wide. Brett Stevenson down the touchline on the far side. Just taken to the ground in that tackle over in the far side. There's going to be a penalty against...
Brett Stevenson,
Howard Lewis for a swinging arm in that tackle. I was a bit dicey about the way Laurie Blake went down with his knees there. I don't think there was any malice involved, but he almost got Brett Stevenson in the head as he went down. And I was looking at that. I didn't see the swinging arm come in. Touched by a City's player there. The ball not finding touch on the full. Touched by Darren Haddock.
Scrum will pack down with the Wattles feed.
The Wattles scrum feed. It shouldn't worry too much. So they would have got the tap with 6 to go. But, of course, City's get a chance. They have won it against the feed. So good work from Haddock because he's won the scrum against the feed. Now Beetson tries to run away from Cherry, but he's caught on his corner line. He'll get up and play the ball. The dummy half position. I say we've got about 15 minutes of the game to go. Mickleborough up the centre meets the tackle of Brett Green, and he's pulled over 5 metres outside the quarterway. Played away on this time Waldron to Seavey. Who will give? Seavey met in the tackle that time of David Packer and Mark Packer. 15 away from halfway. Seaby will get up and play the ball at the dummy half position as Haddock. His pass to Duff. Duff's pass, no, he decides to have a little run on his own and he meets a bit of trouble there. The form of Mark Packer, who pulls him to the ground.
He's had a big game in defence.
Yes, he's a great tackler. Away it goes this time towards Collins. Collins' pass out to Waldron. Waldron across the field. There's a bit of an overlap coming out wide there for Hallett. Hallett down the touchline. John McEwen coming across in cover after he beats Stevenson, rides him to the ground. Right on halfway, Hallett was away. Away it goes to Duff. Duff's pass on this time, Collins. Long pass out to Blake. Blake with room to run, gives it to Mickleborough. Mickleborough's pass missed by Jones. It'll go over the touchline. Not a good pass from Johnny Mickleborough there. He shouldn't have been out in the back line. I don't think he was having a bit of a rest.
Yes, I think so. Caught in the back line, but in the first half, Peter, that pass probably would have gone to hand.
That's right. It's a handover on the tackle of 6. John McEwen, who pulled in a great tackle a few moments ago.
Swinging arm from Haddock in there.
The referee saw it. I don't think thought any malice in it. The way it goes this time to Green. Straight up the centre. He runs at Duff. Looks to unload back on the inside. Blake covered that and he didn't get the pass away. Played away. On it comes away towards Ridge to Lothian. Lothian having a little step up the middle. Darren Lothian who tries to step out of a tackle from Seaby. Picked up by Jones. Grabbed by David Packer. Lothian hurt there. Seaby not real fit at the moment either. Lothian cooked a bump on the head as he tried to duck under Seaby. Here's Lewis breaking away from the dummy half position. He's pulled over 15 metres from halfway. Played away to Haddock. Given on to Duff. Both sides with a bit of walking wounded at the moment. Away to Mickleborough. Meets the tackle of Packer and Green, and he's taken over 10 metres away from halfway. 26-24, still the score. As it comes to Haddock, he had Blake on the outside, and David Packer can't ride him to the ground, but Peter Cherry eventually comes in to concede him, and there's going to be a penalty against David Packer here for reefing the ball loose, a penalty going City's way.
Yes,
Darren Lothian's not real well in back play.
He certainly isn't. I think Michael Seaby, he's coming off. But so they should be walking wounded. That's too, right. Peter.
City's in possession, 10 metres into Wattles' territory after Collins took a tap. I thought they might slow play down and try and take the 2. Played away to Collins and given to Blake. Blake dangerous from this position, steps up the middle. Peter Cherry grabs him by the jersey, gets a pass back to Collins, but gives away to Lewis. Lewis's pass on to Bishop. Bishop grabbed by Mark Packer in there and pulled to the ground 15 metres away from the halfway line. So City's replacement player, Shane Lutz, on the field, slips to the ground.
Robbie Thompson on for Lothian.
Thompson on for Lothian. Played away to Duff, to Blake. Blake with room to run. Dummies, but Peter Cherry grabs him again, and John McEwen comes from behind to ride him to the ground. They're only 10 metres out from scoring Cities. Blake gets up to play it to Newbold. Newbold's pass on this time to Duff and to Collins. Long pass to Beatson. Beatson across the field to Waldron. Couldn't pick it up. Picked up for Wattles by Ridge and play on. There, Dennis Beatson got too close to Eric Waldron there, running across the paddock. Penalty against Cities up inside the 5 on this side of the paddock. Quick tap by City by Wattles. Grilke up the centre, taken down. The tackle was Duff, but he slung Duff away, but eventually taken down by Lutch and Lewis. He'll get up to play it to Goodman. Goodman's pass away to Thompson. Thompson's pass to Ridge. Ridge outside defenders, back on the inside to nobody. Couldn't get the pass away and has taken down. The tackler was Collins. Played on to Ladbrook coming in for the wing. Have a little kick and a chase. He's on for Ladbrook, picks it up and races away. Gives it to Stevenson down the touchline. Stevenson racing for the corner, and Stevenson will score his 3rd try. Brilliant stuff from Gary Ladbrook. That makes the scoreline 28-26. Well, Peter Cherry with a chance to put extra points on the board. Just outside the quarterway, 10 metres in from touch, Brett Stevenson was able to bring it round a few metres. But what a wonderful game it's been, and I guess it's fitting the way the game's been played that a winger would score the try that would seal or win the game.
It's certainly
it's
both.
Not over yet, but I guess it's close to it.
Both sets of wingers have certainly seen plenty of the ball today. That was a great try.
Peter Cherry's added the extras. He's had no easy kicks today, and that makes the score 30 points to 26. We've got we make it less than 5 minutes to go. What a crackerjack 5 minutes will be. What a crackerjack 75 it's been.
Peter, this should set the scene for what should be an incredible final series coming up in 3 or 4 weeks' time.
Yes, 22-4 they led, and they haven't won the game, so that's certainly... well, they haven't lost the game yet, but they haven't won the game. They're down by 30 points to 26 Cities at the moment. But incredible fight backs as Grilke tries to step up the middle and taken down in the tackle of Howard Lewis. I certainly hope that in the game the finish is no difference between 2 or 4 points in it, because I believe that neither side deserves to win by any more than that, the way the game's been played.
No, you're not wrong.
Anyway, 10 metres from halfway, comes away to Thompson. Thompson's pass to John McEwen as the afternoon starts to cool down a bit. I came back in shorts, and I'm certainly paying for it a bit at the moment. Anyway, it gets up to play it to Goodman. Goodman's pass away to Thompson. Thompson's out wide to Thrupp. Thrupp, brilliant in attack, beats the first tackler, gives it out to Grilke. The pass jolted loose. Wattles can pick it up on the far side. Over there, Brad Harvey picks it up, and referee says we'll pack a scrum for the knock-on.
Not one person should walk away from Wattles Oval today disappointed, Peter. It's been an excellent game. Whichever side does get up, a spectator's game. What's something like...
some beautiful
What have we got? 56 points scored in the match.
Yes, and I guess you can't say even though that the defence has been that bad. Out it comes to Waldron, given out towards Wayne McDonald, but Gary Ladbrokes comes in for the ring and pulls him to the ground in a last-ditch tackle. Hasn't Ladbrokes been a saviour for Wattles? As Waldron slips away from the dummy half and gives it to Jones, runs straight at Cherry. Cherry and Thompson go in and pull him to the ground. He'll get up and play it. On the quarterway, Cities with a chance to attack, their final chance. Away comes to Collins, gives it to Lutch in the centre, meets the tackle of Mark Packer. Got a pass back out wide to Duff and then on towards Lewis, standing wide. Lewis tries to step through, but legs grabbed in the tackle that time of Neil Goodman. Lucky not to give away a penalty. John McEwen slipped to the ground beside play. Laurie Blake's pass on towards Mickleborough. Can't unload, he gets it back to Blake. Blake almost stepping free. Has Waldron outside him. Waldron pulled to the ground. Loses the ball and Wattles come from the crowds. They might have lost it too, have they? They have. Cities have come up with it. Referee says knocked on both ways. Waldron almost scoring. I don't know who the player was who pulled off the last-ditch tackle. Maybe it was Goodman. Grabbed him by the jersey and pulled him backwards as he was going towards the line, and the ball just jolted loose from him.
Yeah, it was on the tip of my tongue that Cities needed some Blake magic, and he almost did it.
So Wattles scrum feed. Thompson to serve. He puts it in. He'll take it out. Gives a pass to Harvey. Harvey 10 metres out from his own goal line, met by Duff. That could have been City's last-ditch effort. Well, they haven't deserved to lose. I guess Wattles haven't deserved to lose either. 30-26, the ball game has been a beauty as John McEwen runs up the centre and has taken down the tackle of Barry Duff. He has a bit of a laugh at Duff there. I think Duff might have just laid on him with an elbow. Les Ridge tries to run it out from his corner and he's taken down. He'll get up to play it, slowing it down. Wattles, they are now. Goodman's pass on this time towards David Packer, running hard and straight, reaches 15 from halfway before he's pulled to the ground. A big kick downfield would be what they need, I would think. But Green decides to take it straight up the centre, and he reaches 10 from halfway before he's pulled to the ground. Played away this time to Stevenson, knocked it on. The referee says knocked on. Might have been a bit strict. I thought it might have gone backwards.
That'll be the handover.
It's a handover to Cities, so Cities get another chance. I wish we knew how long to go. It comes on this time away to Duff. Duff decides to try and step up the middle himself, but he's pulled to the ground. Both sides, there's the hooter sounding. It's all over. Wattles have won the President's Cup. A fantastic game, defeating Cities by 30 points to 26. After Cities had led midway through the first half, or late in the first half, by 22 points to 4, and at half-time by 22 to 8. Andrew Smith, the statistics of what has been a wonderful game of rugby league.
An incredible game, Peter. Both sides should feel very happy with the performance today. Cities, of course, leading at half-time by 22 points to 8. I'm sure nearly every Cities supporter thought that the curtains were drawn. She was all over, but Wattles, to their credit, they came back, took the match 30-26. Look at the statistics. The scrums, 10-9 to Cities. Each side getting one against the feed. The penalties 8 apiece, and both sides kicked about half a dozen times in general play. Wattles 30 points coming from 3 tries to Brett Stevenson, 2 to Darren Thrupp, 1 to Russell Grilke. Peter Cherry kicked 3 from 6. And the City's 26 points, 2 tries to Eric Waldron, 2 to Laurie Blake, 1 to Peter Hallett. Tony Collins kicked 3 from 4 and Eric Waldron 2 from 4. And what an incredible match.
Yes, it certainly was. I guess when you look back, 6 tries to 5. Not much in it. Of those 6 tries of the game, 9 of them out of the 11 scored. 9 of the 11 tries in the game scored by the three-quarter line. So that's a statistic which I believe was certainly telling of how entertaining the game was. 30 points to 26. You might say the defence wasn't so good, but that's not true because both sides had to play some wonderful football to score the points. Having a look for the best players in what has been an excellent game of rugby league. Open and brilliant at times. Both sides, I said midway through the first half, something had to give. Well, I guess it did in Wattles' case in the last probably a period between 20 and 30 minutes into the first half when Cities were able to get on top and get away to 22-4. Then in the early stages of the second half, it was Cities that they gave for a few moments, and Wattles scored 3 tries in 3 minutes to get back into the lead at 24-22. But from then on, the game went with tries. It was some fantastic football, and finally a little bit of magic from probably the oldest player in the league at the moment, Gary Ladbrook, when he put a little chip and chase on for himself, picked it up, and then sent his winger Brett Stevenson down the touchline to score his 3rd try. So that was the game. Having a look, as I said, for good players. Having a look at the losers firstly, and where do you start with bad ones?
You might be better off saying bad players, no, really you can't pick any out.
That's right. I thought that Eric Waldron had another fine game in the centres for Cities. He started the game on top of his opposite numbers, Darren Thrupp and Russell Grilke. I guess they evened it up in the second half, and maybe Thrupp's attack was probably the turning point in the game midway through the second half. I thought that Duff and Collins, the halves for Cities, played exceptionally well, and I thought similarly the halves for Wattles, Lothian and Cherry played well. Looking at the forwards, and no shirkers in either pack. Both sides got through a power of work. For Cities, their front row, Mickleborough and Seaby getting through plenty of work. Haddock having an excellent game in the hooking spot, and possibly for mine, City's best player today. His work rate excellent. I thought Blake sniffing out those couple of tries with a bit of magic. Howard Lewis's work rate again fantastic, and Peter Newbold getting through a power of defence. The Wattles forward pack, Brett Green, another powerhouse game. His defence excellent, his running very, very good. Mark and David Packer both playing strong games. David Packer's defence particularly good. Neil Goodman getting through plenty of work in defence, and John McEwen having his best game of the season, with Les Ridge playing another strong game. Having a look in the 3-quarter line, well, Darren Thrupp and Russell Grilke started scratchily, but they finished the game strongly. Brett Stevenson possibly could be Wattles' best player today for mine. His 3 tries, and 2 of them against the odds, certainly good. And I guess Brad Harvey coming back into his own in the second half, lost the ball on a couple of occasions, but you could hardly blame him for that because he did make plenty of ground when running with the ball. So all in all, a very good game. Wattles running out winners by 30 points to 26. Andrew, your thoughts on the game?
Well, a superb game. I think I've said it before, but you see a lot of good games out in this rugby league. Not many will be as good as the spectacle today between Cities and Wattles. Really, I've looked through both lists of teams, and you can't pick out a bad player. Those who stood out, well, as you said, Eric Waldron had a great game. I thought Lloydie Bishop in the centres for Cities, who came in as a replacement for Ray Kirby, I think he held his own very well. As you said too, Peter, probably reiterating a lot of what you said, but the City centres certainly started on top of Wattles out wide, but once again, Wattles 3 tries in about 5 minutes in the second half certainly probably came back into their own. I thought both sides were superb. Really, there was no malice. It was an open game. I thought congratulations too must go to the referee for keeping them apart, Darren Faulkner. I thought he had a superb game, and really a credit to both sides, a credit to both coaches, and really you won't see many better games in this competition.
Yes, I guess it's setting the scene for what's going to be a magnificent final series. If that's the game, that's going to be the best game of the series, that major semi-final game, as it would appear to be now. Cities and Wattles almost certainly assured of playing in the major semi-final, and then of course the way we've been predicting things going on and playing in the grand final, it's certainly going to be wonderful stuff. But an excellent game, an excellent day for rugby league, because the reserve grade game was a beauty, with Cities getting the 2 points there with a 10 points to 8 win over Wattles. The under-19, while Wattles were Cities were outclassed by